Hello everyone, welcome back to my Royal Life News channel. The story for today is the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge waved their week-long Royal Caribbean tour goodbye after spending the day at a vulnerable children's home in the Bahamas. After Prince William stood to observe a guard of honor at the departure ceremony at the Lynden Pindling International Airport in Nassau, the royal couple smiled and waved from the aircraft after enjoying their week-long tour. It came after the prince admitted he might never succeed the Queen as head of the Commonwealth following the trouble-hit visit to the Caribbean. In an end-of-tour statement, the Duke addressed the growing Republican sentiment and colonialism row the trip had inadvertently highlighted, acknowledging it had brought into even sharper focus questions about the past and the future. His week-long trip with Kate, which came to an end last night, has been plagued by public relations gaffes and protests about British colonialism, which led to the endeavour being branded tone-deaf to modern sensibilities. William tacitly acknowledged the anti-royalist sentiment, in his extraordinary statement, saying that while he was committed to service, that involved not telling people what to do. It is about serving and supporting them in whatever way they think best, by using the platform we are lucky to have, he added. It is why tours such as this reaffirm our desire to serve the people of the Commonwealth and to listen to communities around the world. Who the Commonwealth chooses to lead its family in the future isn't what is on my mind. The statement, which comes against the backdrop of the Queen's growing frailty and doubts about whether she will be able to attend the Duke of Edinburgh's memorial service on Tuesday, effectively concedes that cracks are appearing in the Commonwealth, which has been the pride of her 70-year reign. By breaking the monarchy's age-old, never complain, never explain mantra, the Duke was signalling that the tour of Belize, Jamaica and the Bahamas had not gone as expected. They said, William wanted to acknowledge that not everything on the tour landed the right way, but the couple are of the generation which learns from mistakes. You have to look like you know it's not all worked, acknowledge the world has changed and react, not double down. He was showing that he understands that it can't be taken for granted that he will lead the Commonwealth. You serve as long as the people want you to serve, you listen, accept their choices and change if you need to. That's how the Commonwealth survives in the end, by not forcing anything. Earlier today, Prince William played a madcap game of football with a group of young boys from the Grand Bahama Children's Home, in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and took a shine to a 13-year-old who used a wheelchair. When he asked the boy what he wanted to do, the youngster replied, play soccer, and they headed towards 2 goals. The future king was visiting the centre with wife Kate to meet the youngsters in the home's extensive garden and learn about their lives. The Duke and his newfound friend were quickly joined by other small boys, and at one stage there were 4 footballs on the pitch whizzing around with William in goal. Next on the 13-year-old's list was a nearby swing and slide, and he was pushed by the Duke in their direction. William later quipped he knows that'll say yes. As the 13-year-old and 2 other boys swing up in the air, a concerned Duke smiled but said, these swings are very high guys, please don't fall off. The Grand Bahama Children's Home provides a loving home environment to vulnerable children who are not able to live with their families. Since it was established in 1977 by the local community, the home has cared for over 900 children and now looks after around 30 children ranging from 1 to 17. When the Cambridges first arrived, they sat at large table covered in a colourful mosaic design, and with some of the younger children filled in the final pieces. Kate asked one little girl dressed in a pink tutu and tiara, is that going to fit in? And said yes as the youngster slotted the piece of ceramic home, adding, you look very lovely, I love your tiara. They also unveiled a plaque outside the entrance of the Grand Bahamas Children's Home. This evening, Prince William stood to observe a guard of honor at the departure ceremony at the Lynden Pindling International Airport in Nassau. Bahamas military personnel were pictured in their white, black and red uniforms as they awaited the official departure ceremony of Prince William and Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge. Their visit to the children's home came after stopping by at a Bahamian fish fry with Kate, in a pink rixo dress, trying local delicacy, conch pistol, said to have the same effect as Viagra. Kate held up the strip of flesh, which comes from the inside of the conch, and is commonly said to be the conch's male genitalia, before putting it in her mouth to gain a round of applause from the crowds. The Duchess said, "I'm a little bit more adventurous than William is." As the pair joked around, he said, "I can handle it." Their final stop on the island of Abaco today saw the Duke and Duchess visit a fish fry, a quintessentially Bahamian culinary gathering place which is found on every island in the Bahamas. She added that she had already tried conch fritters but had yet to try conch salad. She then got hold of a knife and helped stall owner Jade Cow Adderley, 39, who owns the Cow Conch stall. They were offered conch salad. William said, "Ladies first," before Kate tried it and said, "Delicious." Afterwards, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge visited coral restoration farm Coral Vita on Grand Bahama at the site of an Earthshot Prize winner in the final engagement of the Royal Caribbean Tour. The organization won the Revive Our Oceans category at Prince William's Earthshot Prize Awards last year in recognition of their groundbreaking work to give new life to dying coral reefs. They capped off the Troubled Queen's Platinum Jubilee trip by dropping in on old friends Sam Tyker and Gator Halpern at Coral Vita. Kate, 40, matched the color of the coral farms protected by the entrepreneurs by wearing coral pink Rixo dress. The Duke has spoken to the winners of the Revive Our Oceans in his £50 million scheme to fight climate change on a video call after the star-studded prize show last September. But this was the first time the Duke has visited one of the 5 2021 winners. As he arrived, he said, "Here they are. Look who it is, the famous double act." The award-winning entrepreneurs showed William and Kate a mark on the wall how high the water reached during Hurricane Dorian in 2019. Will said, "That's incredible." Spotting the Earthshot Prize mounted on the wall, William waved his hands in delight and said, "You've done a good job with it." Sam and Galen took Wills to see several of the 28 water tanks where they are growing damaged coral. It can take a year to grow a so-called micropiece until it is large enough to be replanted on the seabed. They also showed how to brush off the algae to keep the coral healthy. Coral Vita also heat the tanks to the correct temperature to add resilience to the coral so when it goes into the sea it can adapt easily to warming oceans caused by climate change. The 3-day trip to the picturesque nation of 700 islands has had such an effect on William and Kate that they have vowed to bring George, Charlotte and Louis back one day, Mail Online understands. After spending the last 2 nights at the Cove Luxury Resort on Paradise Island, where they have been ensconced in the 3-bedroom 4,830 feet penthouse suite with floor-to-ceiling windows and wrap-around ocean views, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge have been FaceTiming their children to share the experience, a source said. That is all for today news. Please make sure to leave your comment and subscribe the channel below for more news update.